Yo, 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 what's up, folks? Welcome back to the live stream. If you were here last live stream, I started talking about a new project of mine. I've decided I want to start showing people in my audience how to analyze data, since it's something that I'm professionally trained in. And I've spent the past year talking mostly about philosophy and political theory and all different kinds of crazy ideas, which I love and will continue to do. But analyzing data is super concrete, super valuable, and super just really, really powerful. And I know there's a lot of people out there in my audience who are really eager to improve their skills in something very tangible and concrete. And I just thought it'd be fun to switch it up and focus my content for a little while on something that could actually very directly help people's lives and careers and allow them to gain a significant amount of actual command and power over the world that they don't currently have. So yeah, I wanted to jump back on here with another live stream to just play around with some data, walk you through some data analysis tactics, and just kind of show you how I analyze data in a real live way. So yeah, if you're interested in learning how to analyze data and learning this with me over the course of the next few months, I made a free course, which is just a series of emails over the course of 5 days, which will basically walk you through setting up a development environment, all free tools, completely free from beginning to end. And I'm just going to basically get your feet wet, showing you how to do basic data analysis and then upload the results, some legit graphs, in other words, to a blog. And you can actually start building a portfolio of data analyses in literally a week if you just follow the directions. It's honestly that simple. You're not going to understand everything you're doing, but that's not the point. The point is to move fast and to just copy me, pretty much. And frankly, a little secret for you all, folks, is that the whole programming world basically runs on copying each other. Like everyone does that, even professional programmers and engineers. You spend half of the time, no matter how good you are. I mean, okay, maybe there's some exceptions who are super geniuses who just know complete programming languages in their mind. But the majority of programmers, even good ones, even ones who are being paid for it, spend a ton of the time just basically Googling how to do something and finding someone else's code. So that's a little secret that you might not realize. And yeah, so what I do with my free course at the link in the description and on the screen there is I'm literally just give you some basic code for you to copy, and I just tell you exactly how to copy it, so that you can actually be programming your own data analyses. So yeah, I just wanted to make a few more live streams like this over the next few weeks, where I literally just kind of do it live, because I've been doing this stuff for a while, and I think it'd be good for you to see what it actually looks like for someone to do, programmatic data analyses in R. And yeah, we can shoot the shit also while I do that. So if you have any, it'd be fun if you gave me like questions, comments about other things, so I can kind of bullshit around, I don't know, various cultural or political topics or philosophical topics or whatever you want. We can kind of bullshit about that while I do some data analysis. So I'm watching the chat as I do this. So what we're going to do today in particular is I'm very interested in crypto lately. I've been doing a ton of research because I'm interested in basically launching my own token for my community on the Ethereum blockchain. Not in this kind of like hyped up way where I'm going to try to like, make this big spectacle and get investors to, ramp it up to $1 million and then like ditch it or whatever, but as a slow, long-term, stable type of project, because I have this real community now behind me with the indie thinkers. I want to actually really start investing in crypto infrastructure, really, and come up with ways for the community itself to be rewarded as the community itself grows. So it's just increasingly clear that this is something that's actually becoming sustainable, and people are doing this successfully. So I'm going to start playing with that. So I've been doing a ton of research on crypto, and so I just thought it'd be a natural place to start. Agency is stored in the balls, says Crypto Head too, huh? Yeah, I'm becoming pretty. Yeah, I'm becoming a crypto head, I would say. I haven't been always, honestly, but lately, I mean, I only started buying crypto a couple years ago. It was after the big rush of around 2017 or whenever that was, after that big peak moment. It was after that, but before the recent peak. So I actually held a good chunk of Bitcoin and Ethereum as of several months ago, like before it really started taking off. But now that it's really started taking off, it's it's interesting. It's exciting to watch. I mean, I've been just reading a ton and really trying to up my game in terms of understanding it. So yeah, NFTs also. And it's just super interesting, really. I'm not here to make any kind of crazy claims. I'm certainly not becoming like a finance influencer or anything like that. I'm just increasingly personally very interested in it, and I am bullish on it personally. And I just think that for content creators in particular, if you're trying to go super independent as just a thinker and a person, you want to invest a fair bit of time and energy into learning this stuff and getting invested in it in one way or another. I'm not giving you financial advice necessarily, but when I say invested, I actually mean investing your time and energy into learning the ropes and just kind of getting acquainted with this stuff, because I think it's going to become increasingly ubiquitous. In any event, I'm bullish on it. But D Lars asks, do you have any resource list for learning crypto? I don't know, because I'm still just getting my head around it. But a few things I would recommend that I have found most interesting. One is Nick Land's book on Bitcoin. It's called Bitcoin and Philosophy. I think it's called Cryptocurrent, Bitcoin and Philosophy. It hasn't been published in paper, but you can find it online. It's super, super fascinating. I think it's really, really important in ways people don't yet fully appreciate. So I've been reading that, and I find it extremely rich and promising, but it's not super useful in a technical sense. There's this other book that I have found interesting called The Truth Machine. I'm personally kind of most interested in the implications that crypto has for truth, really, and verifying truth, distributed truth verification systems, essentially. So I've just been going down different rabbit holes. Honestly, I get a lot out of YouTube. You have to be careful with what you find, but I just go down different rabbit holes and listen to what I listen to is the founders of things that are really working. That's kind of what I tend to trust, because if you've built something in the crypto space and it's actually succeeding and seems at least somewhat sustainable, I take those people's ideas seriously. Like, I've recently become kind of interested in Chainlink. Chainlink is basically this blockchain that is doing oracles that is designed to plug into Ethereum to make smart contracts actually more useful. So this guy, Sergey, who's like one of the founders of it, he's done a ton of talks, and he's got like real ideas, and you can tell he's got real ideas because he's building something real and it's working, and he can talk about it compellingly. So I always look for that. I look for people who are building something real, who have proof that it's real and it's like growing and useful in some way, and who have like legitimate, compelling ideas attached to that. And then I'll kind of go down that rabbit hole and listen to everything that they think, or read everything that they've written. And anyway, okay, so we can shoot the breeze about stuff. Please ask me questions or make comments in the chat. But let's get into some programming. So what I want to introduce today is a R package called Quantile, Quantile is basically just a massive data repository of a whole bunch of different data sources, basically. Quantile, like this, Quandl. This analysis is based on a blog post I wrote a couple months ago. And one of the things that's super, super amazing about R is there are just tons of packages built into it that are just data packages. They're APIs basically that connect you to data sources. So you can analyze amazing amounts of quantitative data inside of R without ever messing with spreadsheets. A lot of people think that, oh, you want to analyze data, you have to get your hands dirty in these like annoying spreadsheets and you're playing with Excel and it's tedious. Like, no, with R, you don't even have to use spreadsheets 99% of the time. You can just connect to things programmatically. So Quandl, for instance, is a database that has a whole bunch of data sources, and then you can just basically connect to them programmatically. So like in this 4 lines of code, basically, we're going to be able to extract some cryptocurrency data. We'll start with Bitcoin. That's what this code here does. Matthew says, have I ever read Nassim Taleb? Yes, I have. I've read a bunch of his essays, but I read Anti-Fragile to completion. I think he's awesome. I think he's super smart. I think he's super interesting. Agency says Sergey is NRX. I swear. Is that right? Does anyone know that? Sergey, the founder of Chainlink. Does anyone know about his politics? I would love to hear it if you have any info on that. All right. So yeah. Again, one of the most powerful things about R is you get all this data. So what I'm going to show you is basically, and you can do this if you're signed up to my course at the link there, you might not be fully done with it, but even if you're still going through the course, you can just follow along with this anyway. So all you have to do is download RStudio, and fire up RStudio, and you can literally just do everything I'm doing by typing it in. You see, it's not even a lot of code. It's like super simple. So yeah, let's start off by loading the packages. We're also going to use this digraphs package. Digraphs basically are JavaScript-based graphs that are interactive. So it's really pretty dope. So for instance, here, I'll give you an example of what we're going to be creating tonight that you can create too. So here is an example blog post. We're going to reproduce this. So this is on my old academic personal website. It's more of my data science type stuff. And look at this graph. So see how it's interactive? See how I can hover over it and it'll give you live information? That's all JavaScript. So that's pretty hard to do this by hand. Like if you were going to actually code this in JavaScript, it would be pretty challenging. You would have to actually really know JavaScript. But we're going to make this graph, and you could make this graph and post it on your blog with just a few lines of code. All right, so it's seriously powerful. Like, because if you do a data analysis that uses this kind of interactive plotting, and you make a nice blog post just like this one that kind of shows this nice interactive graph, you can kind of start to claim that you know a little bit about JavaScript. At least you can generate JavaScript graphics. Now, I'm not encouraging you to lie to employers. I'm just saying technically you're leveraging a pretty fancy, impressive, and beautiful JavaScript-based plotting library. You're doing it all within R, though. So yeah, I mean, if you're like a kind of young man or something like that, and you're thinking about scaling up and you want to, do some meaningful work and learn a new skill, and maybe send, to an employer or send someone on the internet something to impress them, there's pretty much no more powerful thing you could learn how to do than to analyze data in R, because you can make badass blog posts that look like this. And, if you actually can make some interesting analysis and you send this to someone, you're like, hey, I think I have some findings here. I think you might find this interesting. Like, it's just a very, very powerful, undeniable little proof of work, to use a crypto term there. It's impressive. And it shows you're not just a random blogger. Like, blogging is cool for sure, to build a portfolio, to have some influence, to get some readers, and to impress people, and possibly to get opportunities from there. No doubt, it absolutely is a powerful way to do that. But the thing with writing is, like, lots of people can write, and you can kind of write whatever you want. You can write all kinds of things. And there's a ton of people pouring into this now. And so probably the best way to differentiate yourself from all the random bloggers is to be a data blogger. Because if you can make badass graphs that are sophisticated, and you have real data behind what you're arguing in your blog post, it just immediately rises to the top in terms of, like, oh, people are like, oh, this is legit. Or it's significantly more impressive than all the other stuff. So yeah, that's why we're doing this. So this is just to give you a kind of teaser of, if you follow along in my tutorial tonight, you're going to be able to make this and post it to your own blog. So all right, and we'll do some other extensions too. We'll play around. So let me go back to where is it? There we go. All right, so yeah, just go ahead and type in. You need to first install these. So if you're starting out fresh, you're going to need to type in install.packages, and then type in graphs. Isn't it here? Let me move this up a minute. 1 sec, so you can see it. It's being blocked by my little banner. There you go. All right, boom. There you go. Yeah. So if you just type that in, hit enter, it'll install the package. Again, so easy in R, not easy in other languages like Python. You try to install stuff through pip and homebrew and all that kind of stuff, and you're constantly getting annoying errors. Here, again, just do the same thing for Quantile. You might need, I think you need parentheses around these, actually. So if you got an error, go ahead and, yeah, that's right. Use parentheses. So yeah, you go ahead and install those packages. Once they're done, then all you have to do is hit require, type in require and parentheses, and go ahead and run that. And should look something like that. So that means it's loaded. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the Quantile data API through this Quantile search function. So this will let you basically see all of the variables in the Quantile database that reflect the thing you're searching for. Here, Bitcoin. And silent just means it won't give you output. Let's actually turn this to false. So yeah, we'll go ahead and run that. All right, so here you can see we got these results coming out. So it's basically showing you all of the, it's kind of a messy output, but it's basically showing you all of the variables they have in their database that contain the word Bitcoin. So yeah, what you can do is we now have this object that contains these results. So we can just we type in this head function, which will just show us the top few results. You can set it to 2 though. Let's just look at the first 2. And yeah, look, here we go. So you can kind of, one is daily Bitcoin exchange rate, BTC, relative to the euro. And then the second one is BTC relative to USD. So that's generally the one that we want because most of us are in America. Not all of us. I know some of you are different countries. But by the way, come on, give me some interesting topics to discuss while I'm doing this. Oh, so Matthew asks, what did you go to school for? I can blast that. Boom. I did my undergrad in political science. Funny enough, I actually initially went to university. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia, and my major was originally going to be, when I first got there, my major was technically entrepreneurship, which is kind of funny when you look at how my life has turned out. So I went into college to do entrepreneurship, and then I took some badass political theory classes, and I was just like, fuck entrepreneurship. Philosophy is where it's at. I was like, I just want to think crazy shit all day and like read badass books by people like Bataille and Nietzsche and just drink coffee and just be high on ideas all the time. That was pretty much like what I wanted out of life. And that's when I was like, okay, I'll try to be a professor because, it seems pretty cushy. I could just spend the rest of my life, reading and writing. Stupidest idea I ever had. No, I don't mean going into academia. I don't regret that at all. It made me who I was. What I mean was, it was the dumbest idea I've ever had to think that being a professor was actually this like really cushy thing where all you do is read and write. No, it's a real grind, like any other kind of corporate kind of career track. But no, it was not stupid to go into academia. I don't regret it. I'm not sure that I would advise it for young people today, but it depends on your case, definitely. So let's see what else we got. Bruce says, can you do another IRL stream? Yeah, I could. Thanks for the suggestion. Let's see. John Collins says he uses Clojure for data analysis. Rich's talks on programming are good fun. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never messed with it. I'll be totally honest with you. I like R because it's easy. I'm like not a legit programmer, and I'm not super smart in that part of the brain, the mathematical kind of programming part of the brain. So that's why I like R, because it's kind of like programming for dummies. And you can still do really powerful shit with it though. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about some of these topics though as we go. So yeah, going back to this. So we've downloaded, what we did was we ran a search in Quantile for any variables that matched Bitcoin. And then we made this object, search results, which holds, the output of that. If that's not obvious, folks, like that's basically what's going on here. R runs on functions. Like this is a function. And then within the parentheses, you put what are called arguments, and there can be many arguments. A little quick pro tip, which you'll do all the time, is if you're not sure what a function does or what the rules are for using it, you just type down here in the console, you type question mark and then type in the function. In this case, Quantile search. So let's learn more about this function. Boom, there you go. So it'll just give you this documentation, and it'll tell you, here's the function, here's how you, usage, here's how you use it. You type in the function, and then here are the different arguments that you can give it. And those are just little details basically that you define to get different outputs depending on what you're trying to do. All right, so query is the big one here, just search terms, right? You can see that here. Okay. I won't spend too much on that. Let's see. Ooh, Bruce wants to know what happened to Barclay Shields. That's a great question. I will gladly tell you about the Barclay Shields story. Piper asks, do I hold Chainlink? No, I don't, but only because I haven't really gotten around to it. Personally, I've been listening to this guy Sergi and trying to understand his theories. He seems legit. I'm pretty convinced. I think Chainlink is pretty dope. But no, I don't own any of it actually, but I want to. I probably will. I think he seems legit. I judge people on their intellectual merits. Like I like listening to people talk. I feel like I'm a very good judge if someone is the real deal or not, just listening to them talk. I feel like I'm very good at that, but we'll see. All right. So we have these results. And then what you need to do in your case, so let's say you're interested in Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, and you want to make some graphs looking at Ethereum prices, then just replace Bitcoin with Ethereum. Do that. Boom. Right. And then you can see what you got. Let's look at the first two. And there you have it. Look, you have to kind of mine this noise, but It'll tell you. Let's see. Boom. Where is it? Sometimes the output is a little hard to read or annoying to read. Yeah, like this one is kind of hard to read. Let's look at it this way. Yeah, it's sometimes easier to do that. Gives you a kind of spreadsheet view. So yeah, you can just kind of go through this. Okay, so actually nothing's coming up, but I'm pretty sure that they, let's try that. I'm pretty sure they have something. Yeah, there you go. ETH versus Bitcoin, ETH versus USD. Yeah, so if you wanted to do this one, you would use this one. But anyway, so you can play around. You can look. Quantile has tons of stuff. Like, you know, they have like GDP too. They have all kinds of stuff. If you look at GDP, yeah. So from the FRED database, which is the Federal Reserve, that would be a good one. Yeah. So play Jazz. Again, this is like one of the most powerful things about R is all of these data packages where like you can just fire one up and start looking through it, and you'll find interesting things to analyze. And that's kind of part of the fun, part of the power. So anyway, all right, let's stick with Bitcoin just because it's skyrocketing right now. So let's have a look at it. All right, so we've looked through the search results and we found the one that we wanted. When you find the one you want, all you need to do is grab this code from it. So, you know, you might look through yours. Once you find the one you want to grab both the data set or the database, which is the first part, and then the one that you specifically want. So in this case, it's B charts. See the database code, and then, you know, in this case, we want the BTC for USD. So once you identify what you want in this one, in the data set or in the data frame, then you just go and type it into this function. The Quantile function is the main function with the Quantile package, which will just grab whatever time series you're looking for, basically. And the type XTS, you don't have to worry about what that means. Just follow my lead. So if you go ahead and run that, that is going to give us, we're using the Quantile function to go grab the price of Bitcoin relative to USD. That's what it's specifying here. And then this little arrow sign is creating a new object called Bitcoin, and that is going to hold it's a time series of the price of Bitcoin over time. So you can go ahead and click it and see a kind of spreadsheet version of it. And yeah, there you go. For every day since 2012, it gives you open, high, low, average volume, etc. So it's a nice, really, really nice, good long series. Oh, actually, looks like it only goes. Well, let's see. We'll find out how long it goes. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to do that if you're following along. Let's see. We got let's see. Oh yeah, the question was, what happened with Barclay Shields? So yeah, Barclay Shields was a pseudonym that I used when I was in grad school, because, you know, I wanted to be a professor. So I actually kind of cared more back then about my image and like maintaining it. So back in the day, I knew that I wanted to be a professor, so I didn't want all my crazy shenanigans to ruin my possibility of getting a real job. So I used this pseudonym Barclay Shields. It's still all on the internet. I just put it, you know, I've just put it in the dustbin, but it's still all out there. I never took any of the stuff down. It's actually mostly on my old Tumblr, which gets like no traffic because I've just like set it aside pretty much. It's like an archive at this point. But if you want to look at the archive, all the old Barclay Shields stuff is in my Tumblr here. I'll give you a link. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I thought I did kind of cool stuff. I sort of took it more as like performance art. Like I actually did performance art. Like I got gigs in galleries and stuff. Like I did performances in art galleries. Some of them were scheduled. Some of them were like guerrilla and uninvited, and I would go and do it and film it. That kind of thing. Yeah, I kind of had some enemies in Philadelphia. Some people really did not like me, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty awesome. I mean, I was never like really mean. I was just, you know, I've always believed in, you know, cultural insurrection. It's just always been my attitude and philosophy. So, all right. So what else we got? Did Curtis Yarvin give me Urbit? No. Urbit is a decentralized system. You can't just give it to someone. People have on the internet have been nice enough to give me like planets, so that's cool. But for people who are in orbit and deep in that stuff, it's a generous little gift, but it's not like lots of people have lots of those. What else we got in the chat? What else should we chat about? Ankit, what's up? What's going on? All right, yeah. So we have this data series Bitcoin, right? You can see it over here, analyze it here. Now we want to actually do something with it, right? And again, it's so freaking easy. If you've already downloaded the digraph package, we're going to make an interactive JavaScript-based plot just in this one line of code, and check it out. It'll pop up over here. Booyah. It looks like it only goes up to 2013, sometime in 2013, which is kind of lame. I'm sure there's a different data package that will allow us to do more up to date, but be that as it may, this is what it gives us. Yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to do a more up-to-date analysis, I would look for a different data set. I'm sure there are. In fact, I can do this live. One of the best things about R is that there's a ton of resources. So I'm just going to do a quick Google search. I'm typing crypto data in R. Just do stuff like that. You're going to find a ton of stuff. Here, I'll share my screen so you can see what's going on here. So we'll look at some different packages. This one will give you market cap. That market cap depends on what you want to analyze. I'm kind of more at the moment. I'm more interested in. I'm going to look at prices. Get crypto market pairs. All right. Well, let's play around with this. I'll give you an example of. Right. So if you type like pretty much any type of data in R, let's say you want social data, or like, let's say you want religious attitude data, but you want to analyze it in R. All you have to do is type the thing and then type in R, and like you will be amazed how much comes up like all of the time. But just by adding in R, you'll find generally it won't take you that long. See, look, boom, here's an R package, polisci data, tons of stuff. I've actually used that before. There's so many, there's so much data built into R, so you never even have to manage a spreadsheet. You just load it up. Let's see. So here we'll do crypto. We do, yeah, crypto data in R. Boom. I haven't messed with any of these, but let's just play around with it. Let's do, let's just try it. Let's try this one. And what I can do is I can kind of show you how to explore something like totally fresh. So without having any knowledge about it. So here's the instructions. Yeah, let's just go ahead and copy and paste them and do this. It says not available, but it's not available. Let's see why that is. We can go back. We can install from GitHub. Let's see how that works. You notice all I'm doing is copying and pasting. That is all you have to do. Everything is on Google. So yeah, you can see that's all downloading. It should look something like that. That just means it's working. Bryce Edwards says that you DM'd me on Twitter. Cool. Thanks. I'll try to get back to you. Honestly, the honest truth is, not trying to sound like a blowhard or anything, but I get like a little bit more inbound than I can handle nowadays. So I do my best though to reply. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I built Indie Thinkers, is because like there's a ton of super smart, interesting people around me doing badass shit. I just literally don't have the time to talk with people one-on-one all the time. So I built Indie Thinkers to pretty much just like give them an opportunity to like opt into this like bigger group of badass people doing badass shit. That way they could talk with each other, and also me. I like spend my time in Indie Thinkers, but for that reason I don't have enough time to DM and stuff. But I'll try. Don't worry. Piper says, what do you think about the theory that there is a Vishnu living in the blockchain? I have no idea what a Vishnu even is, so I'm afraid I can't say. Interesting question though. Do I know what Peer Academy is? No, can't say that I do. Hanging out with John David Ebert. Yeah, I know John David Ebert. A little secret, actually, I'll tell you now. John David Ebert is going to teach a course in my catalog of courses because he's a legit writer and reader and lecturer. He's a real beast, actually. That guy, he's the real deal for sure. So I actually asked him if he wanted to do a course in my school, and yeah, he's going to do one on Carl Jung, and there'll be a 8-week seminar series attached to it. So he's going to give a bunch of lectures, and he's going to do a 8-week seminar discussion series, just like the one I'm doing for Leo Strauss in January with Michael Millerman. So Cute Nomina asks, do I think that Bitcoin solves space-time? Yeah, that's a provocative thesis. I don't know that I have an independent judgment on that quite yet. I do think Nick Land is onto something. I really do. I think it just needs a little bit more time and attention to deal with that properly. I'm not quite sure is the short answer at this moment. All right, so let's go on to building some shit. Let's analyze some data if you're following along. So we just downloaded a new package called Crypto. I've never played with it before, so all we need to do is type, once you install a package, you just type the name of the package, boom, require it. And now let's play with it. So the first thing you need to do is explore the documentation. So if you type 2 question marks and then the name of the package, it will give you an index to explore in the docs over here. So see, this is just a list of all the functions pretty much. So we're just gonna play around. We're gonna explore. Let's see. Let's have a look at what this one is. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Let's play around with that. It's usually good to go down to the examples section, just easier, because it will allow you to copy and paste it. So I'm just super lazy. I'm all about my interest with data analysis is always what's the most badass, insightful analysis I can create in the shortest amount of time and the least amount of energy. And so here, let's play with this. So let's look at BTC, ticker for Bitcoin. And here what we're doing is we're defining coin as BTC, and then we're going to be able to use the word coin down here, right? So if you're super newbie at programming, just notice what we're doing. So we're defining here, coin now means our word coin is now an object over here. See it? And it just whenever you type in coin in functions down the road now, it's actually going to insert BTC. So this basically is using the function CryptoTime Series. It's calling that function on one argument, coin, but coin is actually BTC. So this line right here is exactly the same as if you did that is exactly the same as that's what you're doing. This is like super basic programming 101. If you're like sophisticated at all, don't watch these live streams. They're going to bore the heck out of you. I'm teaching to people who have never done an ounce of programming in their life, but they want to do legit data analysis. Okay, so we're going to spend a lot of time going slow. That's just how this course is going to be. All right, so when I actually do a proper course, which I plan on doing, those will have nicely edited videos. But for now, we're just going slow. And obviously, you want to change this just to be more intuitive. All right. So if you go ahead and run that line, that's going to give you, of course, there's always some problem. Let's see what it could be. Maybe it's not caps. It's always something. That's what the example was. Okay. So welcome to the life of data analyst. You're constantly, or a programmer, you constantly get errors, and then you just have to basically deal with it and try to figure it out. So what you often want to do is copy the error itself, and then in R, doing something, or I'm sorry, in search, do something like error in R crypto package, the name of the package, and then just paste the error. And then you want to hope that something comes up. So look, there almost always is something. Let's see what this says. And you have to just prepare for this all the time. You're going to have to do this all the time. So just kind of look, you're just looking for a solution. Usually you find one of these threads and something works, basically. Usually if you go down to the very bottom, the thing at the very bottom is usually like the winning solution. So let's see, Space Explorer says, let's see. Moldbug is not bad. No, I don't think he's not. All right. Okay, so see what I mean? At the end, there's usually the solution. Here it is. It's explained there. So yeah, boom, click there. And that's going to give you the solution. But notice, like, none of this is rocket science. I literally don't know anything about programming. Like, I just literally Google everything. And I've been able to publish peer-reviewed academic research doing time series forecasting, like legit forecasting, and statistical time series analysis in like prestigious journals. And all I ever do is like Google how to do stuff. All right, yeah, so this is just annoying. Don't really feel like fixing this, but we'll stick with it. Let's see if one of these, let's see what this does. It has something to do with the connection, with accessing the internet. Let's see if this problem solves it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, see, that is probably the problem. You can see there was an error there. Let's see. Cute Nomina asks, if Nick Land's main take on BTC is its relation to time, what would you say yours is? BTC does what exactly? I mean, I don't have any crazy novel theory of Bitcoin. I just don't. I think Nick's onto something very real, but I haven't. I need to sit down with Nick Land's Bitcoin book and read it very carefully and slowly, and take notes on it and think about it, and then I'll look, like, what I'm probably better at than Nick Land is actually being able to explain ideas in like sensible English. No disrespect to Nick, I just think that's fairly clear statement. So what I will eventually do is I'll read his book and I will take notes on it and I will write about it and I will tell you why it's important and what he's really trying to say. I will do that. But until then, I don't have a particularly novel theory. So let's do. You have to reload the crypto. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, there's some problem there. I don't know. But that's what you get. So whatever, let's go back to the main one. So if we go back to the Bitcoin series that we were able to get, yeah, I got to reload that package. Boom. So yeah, you could, if you wanted to, just export this as a web page and then put it online. If you wanted to, you could export it as an image. You're not going to get, oh yeah, you might get the interactivity depending on, I'm actually not sure about that. I think you might. But Bryce asks, have I read Taleb's Principia Politica? No, I haven't. I would check that out though. So yeah, all right. It's almost 10:30 here. So I just wanted to jump on here, play around, and show you just another example of how easy it is to analyze data in R. with the Bitcoin as an example. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. But if you want to learn more about this, then yeah, just go to that link and take the free email course. It's literally just one short lesson each day, 5 days in a row, totally free. And yeah, I'm genuinely just I want to spend the next few months teaching you all how to analyze data using the R programming language, because I just genuinely believe I think I can say technically, I do believe that it is literally the easiest, fastest way for someone, especially a young person trying to kind of advance their skills in their career, to significantly boost their human capital and just generalized intellectual impressiveness and usefulness, pretty much for any number of other purposes, whether that be trying to understand society. You can actually, analyze all kinds of data and figure things out better than other people can, who are just, writing or just thinking out off the top of their head. Data gives you like real power. It's because it's reality, and if you learn how to actually analyze data sources, you're just by definition going to be more powerful than people who are just guessing about how the world works. So yeah, it's just super powerful. I'm super passionate about it, and it's something I'm actually quite good at. So the course itself, at otherlife.co/data, it's super simple. It's like 30 minutes of work, 5 days in a row, pretty much. But if you do it, you will actually, at the end of it, have a blog with a genuine data analysis on it that you did by yourself and that you actually used programming to do. Like, that's just badass. And I want to spread that to people. And I know I get a lot of emails from people asking me, like you all asking me, I'm trying to learn a new skill, or I significantly want to, improve my career or something like that. And yeah, this is just the most valuable thing literally that I could teach you for that. So I'm going to spend the next few months just making a ton of free content, helping you do that. And this course is kind of the first most valuable thing that I've made for you, if that's something that you're interested in. So yeah, take it. And then after you're done the course, if you need to email me or whatever, or while you're doing it, if you have any problems, all you have to do is hit reply to the email. I'll respond. I'll do everything I can to help you. And yeah, so I want to spend like the next few months just putting out free content, showing you how to do data analysis for free. And then probably in the summer or somewhere around then, maybe a little before then, I'm probably going to roll out a bigger course. It'll be like a 6-week or 8-week intensive thing where it'll be expensive. Like, it's going to be a serious boot camp pretty much. And I'm going to have lecture videos and screencasts. And I'll actually have time available to meet up with you to kind of do like office hours or something like that, to kind of walk you through things if you're snagged or you're getting errors or you just need like support or whatever. I'm going to carve out like a 6 to 8 week probably. Actually, I don't know. I have to think about it, because I think you could probably do it a bit faster. But I'm going to do a serious course, and it's going to be expensive. It's going to be like a serious thing that I'm going to build to try to give people like a really specific, powerful little boot camp experience where they can go from having no data analysis skills to being able to do a bunch of pretty sophisticated data analysis using the programming language R. And yeah, it's just like such a resume booster. It's such and just for the internet, especially, that's why I like it. Like, if you want to be a creator or you want to build an audience as a thinker or a writer or analyst or anything like that, learning how to analyze data is just an unfair advantage. It's like the easiest way to differentiate yourself and stand above the crowd of people who are just saying shit. So yeah, and frankly, that's how I built my career. Like, that's the main reason I ever got traction on the internet. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, because people today think of me as like, whatever, I don't know, provocateur, philosopher, whatever people want to call me. But my bread and butter, like coming up, the only reason I got the attention of like influential people and I got their respect was for my data-driven blog posts. Back in the day, for years, I was doing data-based analyses on my blogs, and that was like what got me my traction, actually. So a lot of people who just know me from recently don't actually know that. Let's see. Justin Young says, is R something you brought with you from academia or picked up after? Picked it up in grad school. Yeah, because I was originally going to do grad school in philosophy and political theory. Like, I was going to do, my dissertation was going to be on radical 20th century French philosophers. That's what I initially, my PhD proposal was on. And about a year or two into grad school, I realized I'm never, ever going to get a job if I do my dissertation on this, because there are just almost no jobs in political theory and philosophy. And if you do want to get them, then you have to do the things that are kind of like popular and fashionable, because that's what people hire for. So once it became clear, like I literally had no chance of getting a job. I come from a working class family. Like I can't fuck around. I have to, I needed to have a promising career track because I don't want to be poor and I have nothing to fall back on. So I just basically was like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to start studying statistics and I'm just going to fucking learn how to do data, like badass data analysis at a professional level. And I literally just did that through learning R. Like learning R was literally the most powerful thing that I did in grad school. And it's the reason, it is literally the only reason that I got a job as a professor, is because in grad school, I decided to teach myself R. And like I'm telling you all, like R is it's easy to hack. It's easy to, like, if you don't know anything about stats, you're not good at math, and you don't ever do any programming, you've never programmed a line of code in your life, you can get started with R and you can make real analysis that makes sense. And you can do it in R because it's not like other programming languages. It's more simple. And yeah, there's just so many resources on there online to learn. So yeah, I want to kind of share my philosophy of how I did that, and because I really do just think it's like a shortcut in life. It's like a cheat code to basically significantly improve your analytical powers and your employability and your impressiveness and your ability to build intellectual influence on the internet also, which is obviously something I'm very passionate about right now. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Anyway, all right, it's 10:30. My wife wants me to shut the fuck up because she's trying to go to sleep soon. So all right, folks, thanks for hanging out. As always, I'm going to do a few more of these, so stay tuned. Go ahead and sign up for the course if you're interested in doing this stuff. And as I said, you can reply to any of the emails, and I'll try my best to help you out. All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out. As always, later.